Welcome to Hexagram 14 of the Oracle of the Cosmic Way. I'm just going to jump straight in here. If you're someone who has attempted to monetize something that you felt really passionate about or has been really struggling to make ends meet, there's a seed phrase for you, getting some wealth, getting some income, getting some cash flow, and you've been trying to turn something that you love, like a hobby or how you share yourself, into some kind of material wealth, then Hexagram 14 may have some wisdom for you on why that's happening and how you can get out of it. Now, cosmic possessions is a theme in this hexagram. Now, speaking from my own point of view, I've had many cosmic gifts given to me over the years. It doesn't make me special, but I have had multiple areas of skills and wisdoms and methodologies presented to me, like gene keys and human design and a landmark and shadow work and lower self work and levels of consciousness and hypnosis and NLP and ayahuasca and ape and psilocybin and LSD. There's been many things, edibles, many things that have come across my radar to help me understand myself or enjoy life or unlock more of my body. For those of you that don't know, I'm a trained body psychotherapist, whatever that label means to you. But when we're talking through the lens of this hexagram and the Oracle of the Cosmic Way, many of the labels that we've called things have been incorrect because that works in favor of the collective ego. So as a child, we have these innate abilities, these gifts, and then as we grow, our parents do their best to try and educate us, to prepare us for life. They start guiding us towards things and jobs and careers. For example, one of my gifts, I'm amazing at certain instruments. I can pick up a drum, and just learn how to play it, right? And my dad and my mum was more musically orientated than my dad, but my dad would say, "Oh, John, you got to work out a way of how to monetize this. Like, how much does a studio drummer get paid? Like, you got to think about your future." And straight away, you start to feel that what you're creating isn't going to help you survive. Right? This is how the collective ego gets in here. It puts a thought into your body, into your consciousness. It fires a poison arrow in there. Blink. How are you going to make money from this? How are you going to find love? For a lot of men, it's, I don't know if you're like this, like you have to have money in order to have a relationship. Otherwise, a woman's never going to be with you, right? So many men in particular will aim for a career path that betrays all of their cosmic gifts because that's what the collective ego wants from you, wants to feed from you, right? So what this hexagram can help you do is reclaim those cosmic gifts, bring that chi back into you so it starts to replenish you. Like the image I have is a toroid, right? When you're in the center, and when you start to release those seed phrases or deprogram yourself, the chi of life and vitality and love flow through you because you're removing the blocks at an atomic level. You're not doing a cute little NLP process, right? You're not trying to brute force and grieve your way through it, right? Now, culture in the world, the culture that I see that's most related to what's speaking about in the Oracle of the Cosmic Way in Hexagram 14 here is the indigenous culture in Australia, where their possessions, they may have made their own possessions. For example, they would have made their own knives, made their own instruments, and then some of those possessions they'd carry with them, and some of them they'd leave behind. They'd just make another one when they got to the next place, right? Can you imagine that? Can you feel what that feels like in your body? We don't have possessions as we know them today. They just make a new thing, make some clothing. They need food? Cool, let's go fishing for the day. Let's go hunting. Let's go have ritual. Let's go celebrate life. But in that, death was the beginning for them. Death was the beginning. And a lot of the work that I take people through, I help them die to the identities that they've put on themselves, that they're no longer who they are. It's a real challenge for people to let go of those identities. And the sage can help you. And so can I. Now, the point I'm making here is it's every individual's journey to identify what are your cosmic possessions. And you might need to deprogram all of these things that you've learned, like that list that I rattled off before of everything that I've been presented with, human design, gene keys, astrology, all that stuff, just general knowledge, to unstitch myself from all of that information, including artificial intelligence now. So for me personally, went balls deep into AI, what it could give me, what it could recreate for me so I could spend more time with my family. And what I've learned, I've gone full circle, which is what I tend to do in all the work that I've done. I go full circle. I need this thing. Oh, maybe I don't need this thing anymore. It's actually holding me back. I need to unprogram, unstitch, discover who I am at the core of all of this. And this is where I can see we're going as a civilization. Connecting with the self, discovering who the individual is, the individual gift, the individual gifts that we have, the unique gifts that we are bestowed upon by the cosmic love, by cosmic consciousness, right? The last point here, in my last two and a half minutes before we jump into Hexagram 14, is the ego is in the body, not just the psyche. For traditional psychotherapy, the ego is mind. From my lineage, from the gifts that I've been gifted with and the structures that I've been gifted with, the ego is in the body. In your bracing, in your breath, in your posture, how you move. The patterns of the collective ego are in the body. They show up. I can see them as plain as day on someone's body. In that, the sage, and through these other tools that I use, the 5 personality patterns, you can deprogram the body because the body holds it as well as the mind. So some people need that body interrupt as well as having their hand held by the sage and the information in hexagrams like this, like the 14. So the point I want to make here is, if you feel it or not, is that I can be one of those friends that this hexagram 14 speaks to, that assists the feeling manager to feel the body. The feeling manager is its own thing. And I also have cosmic gifts that can help people feel their body, become aware of what's really going on by witnessing and telling you, hey, you're flinching there. Hey, you just twitched in that eye. Hey, are you breathing right now? What are you holding your breath about? What are you holding in, holding onto, or holding up? Because many people that come to this content are missing something in their relationship life. And they want to go deeper. They want to find someone. They want to find their person. And that armoring around love, that the cosmic love that wants to be bestowed upon you by the universe, by the cosmic way, that cosmic love, can be stopped by all the holding in the body from everything that you've learned from childhood about what love looks like, can be arrested, held back by your body, not just what your mind is trying to insert in there or put in the picture. So in the last 10 seconds, enjoy this hexagram. I'll read it almost verbatim, and let me know what you think and feel about the contemplations and the hexagram itself in the comments. Mad love. Bye. Hexagram 14, Possession in Great Measure. The Judgment, Supreme Success. In this hexagram, the sage informs us of the cosmic possessions a person comes with at birth and those which are given to him throughout his life by the cosmos. These cosmic possessions are all that he needs to live his life happily and realize his uniqueness. The cosmic possessions he is born with include what is called in this book his treasure chest of inner truth, his inner and outer senses, and a group of other senses called here the metaphorical senses. Also, part of his possessions are his cosmic virtues, his supporting helpers called talents, and his automatic access to all the helping energies and aspects of the cosmos when he is in harmony with his true nature. Among the possessions he accumulates throughout his life are his experiences of the gift-giving and helping nature of the cosmos, and those helpers that fulfill his particular needs. Other cosmic gifts are given to him in the form of jobs, a place to live, a love relationship, and friends that best suit him. Possession in great measure also describes the endless generosity of the cosmos to the person who is in harmony with it. A person's physical, inner and outer senses give him a true perception of both the visible and the invisible worlds. They are the basis of his common sense, which provides him with the correct mental and physical responses to potentially harmful situations. It is his common sense that enables him to intuit incorrect motives in others, and danger coming from unknown sources. See page 571, The Senses. The collective ego, by contrast, defines possessions within the context of the idea that humans are at the centre of the universe. It presumes that humans are meant to possess the earth and everything on it. This is the cause of humans' aggressive and arrogant attitude toward nature, including their own bodies, and is the main cause of human separation from the cosmic unity. See Hexagram 2, Nature. The collective ego, while promoting the idea of human superiority, trains the individual to believe that he is born lacking the qualities and help he needs for life. It then steals his energies by promising that if he fits into all the roles it assigns him, he will attain its support and help. And if he does it with valour and self-sacrifice, he will even gain honours, privileges, and entitlements. By this lie and a variety of other sleight-of-hand tricks, the collective ego puts itself in the place of the cosmic consciousness as the source of people's needs. I'm going to say that line again. By this lie and a variety of other sleight-of-hand tricks, the collective ego puts itself in the place of the cosmic consciousness as the source of people's needs. The person who has accepted the belief that he is born lacking and needy has put spells on his true nature that limits his cosmic possessions. Furthermore, his disbelief in the invisible world blocks him from receiving the flow of cosmic blessings. As invariably happens, the promises of the collective ego prove empty of the true help and nourishment that only the cosmos can give. When the person then looks for the causes of his impoverishment, he is told by the collective ego that his condition is due to the unkindness and indifference of the cosmos. It is often said that nature is economical and wastes nothing. While this is true, some people have incorrectly taken it to imply that nature acts in a miserly way. They do not realize that such thoughts put spells upon their relationship with nature that block them from receiving its abundance. What a person receives from nature, the cosmos, depends entirely on his attitude toward them. As is shown above, the mental program installed in the young person's psyche by the collective ego leaves no part of his relationship with nature, the cosmos, untouched. The collective ego's intention is to appropriate as many of a person's cosmic possessions as possible to its purposes. The belief in the ups and downs of life promoted by the collective ego is responsible for the fear that even though a person may possess more than enough of everything, he will never have enough to protect himself from the unforeseen, and so must always strive for more. Such a person actually believes that chance or probability rules life, and thus holds the cosmos in distrust. His view creates the fate that what he does receive from the cosmos is taken away. When a person has a trusting relationship with the cosmos, he receives cosmic gifts in abundance as he needs them. The collective ego would make us believe that everything in nature exists to be possessed by humans and serve their purposes. Since this belief is not in harmony with the cosmos, it blocks a person from receiving nature's gifts. He then concludes that he must forcefully take what he needs from nature and bend it to his purposes. In cosmic terms, this is stealing from nature rather than allowing it to give its gifts. Such stealing creates fates. Inasmuch as this hexagram speaks of the gift-giving nature of the cosmos, it also tells us that the nature of the cosmic consciousness is love. Its love pours to us not only in the many forms already mentioned, it also comes as cosmic interventions in our lives when we are in great trouble, and as help given to the imprisoned true self to free it from the tyranny of the ego. I'm going to read that whole 2 lines again, or 1 line again, no 2 lines. Inasmuch as this hexagram speaks of the gift-giving nature of the cosmos, it also tells us that the nature of the cosmic consciousness is love. Its love pours to us not only in the many forms already mentioned, it also comes as cosmic interventions in our lives when we are in great trouble and as help given to the imprisoned true self to free it from the tyranny of the ego. Such terms such as conditional love and unconditional love do not describe cosmic love, which pours out constantly and without measure. It is humans alone who, by holding to mistaken ideas and beliefs, limit their abilities to receive it. A person who has given himself over to the ego and is wholeheartedly devoted to its values cannot receive cosmic love. However, even the most arrogant person can receive its love during those moments when, through shock, he is drawn back into modesty and self-examination. Once the shock subsides, the ego will seek to find any opportunity to return. His connection with the cosmos can endure only so long as his heart remains open and he remains modest and sincere. This hexagram is often received to inform a person why his cosmic gifts come and go. More than likely, this is due to his belief that change is the rule of life, which has projected itself into reality. He may also be falsely attributing or he may be using them for his egotistical purposes. Or his cosmic gifts have dried up because he thinks poor, or thinks luxuriously, as in, you can never have enough. If an experience is to be worthwhile, it must be difficult or costly. Nothing comes from nothing. I don't deserve it, or I deserve it. I have the right to do whatever I want with what I possess. A person must have something to be somebody. Success is what counts. Never mind the means. Possessions are power, and power is everything. Being spiritual means getting free of worldly possessions. Giving is more noble than receiving, and having money and possessions is evil. See page 550, Deprogramming Procedure. 2 of the unique cosmic gifts given to humans are the ability of speech and the ability to form images. The ability of speech belongs to the word mind, and the ability to form images belongs to the intuitive mind. Their function is to form images and words that express our inner truth, which is always in harmony with the cosmos. The collective ego, however, has appropriated these 2 gifts, by flattering the word mind and the image mind that they are what makes humans special and superior to all other forms of existence. Once captured by the ego, the intuitive mind develops fantasies about the greatness of the human species, while the word mind provides rationales to support those fantasies. Both minds, caught up in the ego's purposes, forget their original functions. When the two frontal lobes of the brain are thus exalted, other parts and functions of the brain and body are slandered as inferior. For example, the feeling manager, a helper whose function is to coordinate the psyche and body, and which is located in the brainstem, is partially disabled when the latter is regarded as insignificant. It is through the many capabilities of the feeling manager that a person's health is maintained. It is particularly destructive to a person's health when the thinking mind puts itself in charge of the body. I think many of us have been there. The spells that have been put on these two minds through flattery needs to be broken. They consist of phrases and images having to do with human superiority and with ideas that pronounce the human species as special. Examples are the Chinese idea that man is the representative of heaven on earth, and its Western equivalent that man is the crown of creation whose job is to rule the earth, and their scientific equivalent that humans are at the top of the evolutionary ladder. Holding these ideas creates fates. See page 550, Deprogramming Procedure. The judgment words, supreme success, refer to the success a person has in all that he does when he fully recognizes his cosmic possessions and does not allow the ego to steal them. Now we do the lines. Line 1. No relationship with what is harmful. There is no blame in this. If one remains conscious of difficulty, one remains without blame. No relationship with what is harmful is a statement that the cosmos does not entertain a relationship with the ego. There is no blame in this states that the cosmos is not to blame if a person is not receiving the gifts it holds for him. If he is not receiving gifts, it is an indication that the person needs to free himself from the ego's grip. If one remains conscious of difficulty, I'll read that whole line again. If one remains conscious of difficulty means that he needs to remain aware that if the ego is present, it will attempt to appropriate or steal the cosmic gifts to its purposes. Only if he remembers this will he have no cause for regret. In particular, this line points to the demanding attitude of the ego and to its pretenses to having the right to receive love and the right to good luck and money. A person's security in all that he possesses is dependent entirely on his relationship with the cosmic source of those gifts. When he turns them to the benefit of the ego, be it in himself or others, he creates the fate of losing them. The cosmic gift of chi, or life energy, cannot be received in the love relationship if a person regards his or the other's sexuality as the cause of original sin. Such a view is a poison arrow. Line 2. A big wagon for loading. One may undertake something, no blame. The possession referred to in this line is the helper of transformation, the big wagon for loading, and its ability to take care of problems once we turn them over to it. It is there to help us clear away the main obstructions that keep us from receiving the cosmic gifts. One may undertake something refers to activating the helper of transformation by asking for its help and putting ego emotions such as grief, guilt, blame, self-blame and blame of others, fears, doubt and hatred onto its wagon. This enables the person to move on with his life without having to carry the heavy burden these emotions create. Through turning them over, the helper of transformation is enabled to transform them into other helpers. Doubt of its ability to do this, however, interferes with this ability. Of all these emotions, it is most important to get rid of guilt, because guilt keeps the person caught in a vicious circle of self-blame. See page 39, Guilt, Blame and Shame, and also page 551, Deprogramming Guilt. This line may refer to someone who is holding onto one or more of these ego emotions. If he continues to do so, they will create a fate. He needs to realize that the ego holds onto them in order to gain the energy on which it lives. Line 3. A prince offers it to the Son of Heaven. A petty man cannot do this. From the standpoint of the collective ego, the prince represents a noble-hearted person who devotes his talents and cosmic gifts to the purposes and goals of the collective ego. In doing so, he's seen by others as magnanimous and princely. The Son of Heaven, in this analogy, is the collective ego, which has set itself up as the representative of heaven on earth, thus also the sole judge, soul S-O-L-E, sole judge of what is important and valuable. Concepts such as being noble-hearted and being petty are used by the collective ego to divert a person's talents and cosmic gifts to its purposes. The text suggests that a person is either noble-hearted or petty. The person who takes this line as wisdom is driven, on the one hand, to adopt the self-image of being noble-hearted out of fear of being seen as petty, and on the other, to succumb to the flattering associations connected with the word noble-hearted. This is a typical sleight-of-hand trick of the collective ego. By making the person think he must choose one or the other, he is lured into developing a self-image that will allow the collective ego to usurp his chi energy and his cosmic gifts. Seen in cosmic terms, the line refers to times when a person's true self, the prince, leads the personality. He has a correct attitude of responsibility toward his cosmic gifts and acknowledges their true source. The petty man represents the individual ego that claims the gifts to be of its making and the right to use them as it sees fit. This line may also refer to a person's attachment to his possessions, as when he is possessive of his love partner or is emotionally attached to his looks, health, wealth, or position. It refers also to a person's attachment to his talents and abilities, to parents' attachment to their children, or a person's attachment to anything that comes into his care. The only correct attachment a person may have is to his inner truth. All other attachments come from the ego that believes it has rights over people and things. The condition by which we may possess anything is our continued recognition of its gift nature. This is also the condition of duration. Such an attitude toward our possessions, however, cannot be contrived. It is the result of deep realizations that accompany ridding oneself of the mistaken idea that humans have entitlements, and that they can do with their possessions what they like. Receiving this line can also be an indication that a person has created a fate, even though it has not yet manifested. The cause of his fate is due to the spell mentioned in the general text that humans are superior because they possess language. Ridding himself of that mistaken idea will extinguish the fate. A person who can receive this line to reflect his incorrect view of himself as lowly and undeserving, or as not competent to approach the helpers directly. Read that line again. A person can receive this line to reflect his incorrect view of himself as lowly and undeserving, or as not competent to approach the helpers directly. As a result, he holds back and therefore is deprived of obtaining the help he needs. He must say the inner no to all the phrases and images by which he has come to accept this incorrect view of himself. Line 4. He makes a difference between himself and his neighbour. No blame. This line states that a person needs to see his uniqueness as a possession. It is vital that he not compare himself with anyone else, as with other members of his family, clan, class, race, etc. Each thing in nature is a unique expression of the cosmic consciousness. Its purpose is to relate back to the whole its unique perceptions, feelings, and experiences. In doing this, each thing contributes to the evolution of the whole. When, however, a person comes under the influence of the collective ego, his uniqueness is suppressed and sacrificed to make him conform to its values. When a person's uniqueness is appropriated in this way, it is an act of robbery that decreases the cosmic whole. This line may be a statement to a person that he needs to free his true self from the ego's domination and develop his uniqueness, which only his true self possesses. Possibly he sees himself as important either for social, financial, or other reasons, or else he sees himself as unimportant. Either view distracts him from the real issue of recognizing his uniqueness. This line can also make a person aware that he needs to say the inner no to comparing his new love relationship with a previous one, referred to in the line as the neighbour. These comparisons arise because the inner connection to the previous partner has not been closed. It is necessary to close any old inner connections, since these are openings through which thoughts come that might damage the new relationship. See page 538, Closing an Inner Connection. I also did a video on that. The person may also need to free himself from unresolved issues left over from the previous relationship, such as a false loyalty caused by the belief that you can have loyalty to only one partner in your life. Making a difference between himself and his neighbour can also be counsel to cease watching another from an inner doubt in his ability to succeed on his own. Such a person does not understand that the other may ask the sage for guidance. The line may also refer to a person who sees himself as superior to another due to his accumulated knowledge. Such a comparison is superficial, since in cosmic terms, accumulated knowledge is devoid of the true understanding that includes feeling and therefore is of no significance. Making no comparisons avoids creating cosmic blame. Line 5. He whose truth is accessible, yet dignified, has good fortune. This line refers to the person who recognizes the conditions under which he can safely share his cosmic gifts with others. When those others are sensitive to their gift nature and do not presume, they have a right to misuse them. I'll say that line again. This line refers to the person who recognizes the conditions under which he can safely share his cosmic gifts with others. When those others are sensitive to their gift nature and do not presume, they have a right to misuse them. He whose truth is accessible yet dignified refers to his unwillingness to throw his cosmic gifts away on the ego in himself or in others. He neither allows himself to be flattered by them or intimidated by the collective ego into giving in to its institutions, nor does he allow others to say what he ought to do with his gifts. Thus, he is continually conscious of preserving his integrity and dignity. Line 6. He is blessed by heaven, good fortune, nothing that does not further. This line can be a confirmation of the blessings given by the cosmos to the person who, despite difficulties, has remained true to himself. It is also a statement that the helpers are coming to further him in everything he does, and to free him from the fate he has caused. A person can also receive this line when he has won something to which he believes he has a right. For example, he may have won the right to receive love from another person. This impression is created by the traditional marriage ceremony. However, love is a cosmic gift that is not under the jurisdiction of the collective ego's institutions. Allowing the love relationship to be put into the harness of the collective ego blocks a person's access to the cosmic gift of love. It is the same with all cosmic gifts, such as those that come in the form of scientific breakthroughs, inventions, artistic talents, etc. When people credit these gifts to their glory and honor, the helpers in these gifts retreat, so that the gifts become empty. Thank you for listening to Hexagram 14. If you skipped the contemplation, there's a link in the description that'll take you back there, and I'll see you in the next one, unless you're keen to binge a whole bunch of all the other ones that I've read so far. Just an addendum to this. There's many hexagrams that I haven't done yet. I've just done the ones that have been presented to me through the RTCM. Sometimes I'll do an update, sometimes I'll be reading a brand new one, like this one, the Hexagram 14. I was so excited to get this and read this and absorb this at the right time through the counsel of the sage, not through my own ego wanting to ingest it like I've ingested so much content and knowledge over the years. So with that said, pick out the playlist if you want to keep on listening, or choose the recommended video for you to keep on watching. Mad love. Bye.